It seems that the intense and downright weird relationship between Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly could be coming to an end, before the pair even got to marry. Today on Where Are They Now, we've got a brief breakdown of the 3-year-long relationship and the weird stuff that happens along the way. I'm Adam Andrews, and let's jump in. In March of 2020, right before the year took a turn for the worst, the Jennifer's Body and Dirt actors met on the set of their new thriller Midnight in the Switchgrass. Filming shut down after only 2 weeks, but clearly that was long enough for them to form a connection. At the time, a source told E! News the downtime has been good for them. They are intrigued by each other and having a lot of fun. The next month, in April, Megan and Brian, her ex-husband, were seen exchanging their kids and a car seat in a Calabasas parking lot, suggesting that they transition to co-parenting their 3 young sons, Noah, Bodhi, and Journey. In May is when things seemed to happen between her and MGK though. The Daily Mail published photos of Megan and MGK getting takeout together in Calabasas. By this time, Megan and Brian had been seen without their wedding rings on. On the 18th of May, Brian confirmed during his podcast that he and Megan split in December 2019. He explained how the end of their decade-plus entanglement happened, saying, quote, "She said, I realized when I was out of the country working alone that I feel more like myself and I liked myself better during that experience, and I think that might be something worth trying for me. I was shocked and I was upset about it, but I can't be upset at her because she didn't ask to feel that way. It wasn't a choice she made, that's the way she honestly felt." But that same day, a source told E! A different story and made it clear that Megan and MGK are more than just friends. They spilled saying, quote, "Megan has been working on a movie with Machine Gun Kelly and gotten close to him. They are hooking up and have been for a little while. She is separated from Brian Austin Green and they are taking time apart as a couple. She has something going on with Machine Gun Kelly that she is excited about." Now 2 days later, on the 20th of May, is when MGK finally released his much anticipated Bloody Valentine music video featuring Megan herself as his on-screen GF, and featuring his whole love for her feet as she steps on his face. A little while later, he told Teen Vogue, "It's no secret I think feet are beautiful and I think Megan has the most beautiful feet that exist." He went on to explain, quote, "I was like, Megan, you already know what I'm going to ask you." And she was like, "Yeah, I literally got a pedicure just in case because I knew you were gonna ask me that." So weird. I'm sorry. On June 15th, the Daily Mail published pics of Megan and MGK kissing after a night out in Sherman Oaks, which was followed by a tweet from MGK quoting his song Bloody Valentine with, quote, "I'm calling you my girlfriend, what the frickin' heck? Life imitated art on that one." And just for the record, no, he didn't say frickin' heck, but kids could be watching, so I had to just change it. I'm sorry. On July 22nd, 2020, Megan and MGK gave their first joint interview talking to Lala Kent and Randall Emmett about filming Midnight in the Switchgrass. Speaking on the casting of MGK in the film, Megan said, quote, "Because I knew I could feel that some wild shiznat was gonna happen to me from that meeting, but I wasn't yet sure what that was. I just felt it like deep in my soul, that something was going to come from that." Again, no, she didn't actually say shiznat, but kids. She continued on to make a pretty bold statement saying, quote, "I knew right away that he was what I call a twin flame. Instead of a soulmate, a twin flame is actually where a soul has ascended into a high enough level that it can be split into 2 different bodies at the same time. So we're actually 2 halves of the same soul, I think." And I said that to him almost immediately because I felt it right away. That's kind of a red flag. That'd be a red flag for me. What about you guys? I don't know. Not too long afterwards, on July 28th, MGK made a post to Instagram of the couple posing for a mirror selfie, making the relationship official in the eyes of the internet. Now the following month of August was just a whole lot of Brian Austin Green being salty and petty. On the Hollywood Raw podcast to say some cryptic stuff about how he found out Megan and MGK were dating and suggested that he's going to keep everything mature. Brian revealed, quote, "I found out in my own way and that's as much detail as I'll give you on that one. I try not to read anything or look at anything and not involve myself in it. Just keep my head down and do what I do and focus on the kids." Which is a little hypocritical because 2 days later, on August 5th, Megan posted a shirtless pic of her new boyfriend with the caption, "Achingly beautiful boy, my heart is yours," which garnered a response from her last partner in the form of his own Instagram post of his sons copying her caption when he wrote, "Achingly beautiful boys, my heart is yours." Hey, maybe it's a coincidence. Psst, it's not a coincidence. Sorry. A few days after that little non-direct exchange, it came out that Brian is apparently annoyed that Megan is so focused on her relationship with MGK. And I mean, yeah, it's not surprising, he's losing Megan Fox to MGK. Of course he's annoyed. On the 29th, Brian also expressed his thoughts on how he and Megan could get back together on an Instagram live, saying, quote, "I never say never. I kind of feel like people are on paths in life and sometimes your paths are together and you travel that part together and you see eye to eye, and then sometimes paths do different things." Now moving on to September of 2020, and MGK met Megan's little ones on the 10th of the month, which is indeed a big step in the relationship. But a source added, quote, "It's too soon for marriage for everyone, both of their kids and Brian included. They are definitely super into each other. MGK is obsessed with Megan." However, it was also reported that Brian isn't devastated by their split anymore, which contrasts with what he said like 2 weeks earlier, but hey, good for him. Shortly after an interview with Howard Stern where MGK gushes over his love for his new boo thang, Megan made a short cameo in MGK's new music video for, quote, "Drunk Face," where they kiss. Nice. Now, the twin flames thing was weird, but these two become known for their weird poetic comments, one of which comes in November of 2020, when Megan Fox gushed about MGK in a Nylon cover interview where she says, quote, "Loving him is like being in love with a tsunami or a forest fire. The intensity of merging with him is just overwhelming, and the threat it poses is so powerful but so beautiful that you have no choice to surrender with reverence and with gratitude." Ugh. Later, on November 23rd, the couple made their first red carpet appearance as a couple at the AMAs, with Megan actually sporting a small tattoo dedicated to MGK on her collarbone. The next month started to see more talk of marriage and also talk of Megan actually finalizing her divorce from Brian in order for it to happen. In February of 2021, it was reported that BAG was making the whole divorce thing more difficult, with a source saying, quote, "Brian is definitely not making it easy or doing things quickly. Megan would like to wrap it up and get it finished as quickly as possible, but Brian is not exactly working with her on that." In May of 2021, the couple shows up to the Billboard Music Awards going to 100 with the PDA, with their tongues all the way out and hands on their no-no sections, if you know what I mean. This was after MGK's ex Summer Rae had tried to stir the pot, saying the musician cheated on her with Megan, but that didn't have any effect, apparently. In June, amid the couple's schedules becoming extremely busy, the two are still thinking about the future but are also focused on work, with Megan even rumored to be occasionally joining Kelly on his Tickets to My Downfall tour, which started in September of that year. In July, when Megan became InStyle's cover girl, she gives an interview addressing the age gap between the two, saying, quote, "The fact that he's 4 years younger than me and people want to act like I'm dating a younger man. He's 31 and I'm 35. Granted, he's been living like he's 19 his whole life, but he isn't 19. No one would blink twice if George Clooney was dating someone 4 years younger." Which, yeah, I mean, fair point, Megan. Good job. On September 12th, 2021, the couple took to the VMA's red carpet with Megan wearing a sheer dress that basically had her unclothed. And apparently, this was his idea, with Megan saying, quote, "He was like, 'You're gonna be naked tonight,' and I was like, 'Whatever you say, daddy,' which..." Excuse me while I vomit. Sorry. Anyways, Megan and Kourtney Kardashian, who was dating and later married MGK's drummer and producer, Travis Barker, took to the stage and introduced their partners as their future baby daddies, which is a bold move, but hey, go off, queens. Now following this, on October 11th, 2021, British GQ did a sit-down interview with the couple, and there was just a whole lot from this interview. They talk about giving each other tattoos of, quote, "the darkest fairy tale." They talk about working on a super secret film project. They say how they first ever met at a party, which gave us the infamous quote of Megan saying, quote, "You smell like weed," and MJK hitting back with, quote, "I am weed." And then they talk about their first kiss, saying that they just put their lips in front of each other and just breathed in and out, which again, but what the hell does that even mean? Weirdos? And then there's this whole weird thing where MGK says, quote, "It should be light, but also we go to hell with each other. It's ecstasy and agony for sure. I don't want people to think anything's perfect with us. I didn't say it was the darkest fairy tale for no reason." And then Megan on Instagram saying that the highlight of their relationship included, quote, "Feverish obsession, guns, addiction, lots of blood, therapy, tantric night terrors, binding rituals, and the kind of sex that would make Lucifer clutch his rosary." Dude, what the hell? What does that even mean? On January 12th of 2022, Megan and MGK officially get engaged under the banyan tree where they apparently first met. The engagement ring, which featured their birthstones, also had the fun little fact that, quote, the bands are actually thorns, so if Megan tries to take it off, it hurts, because apparently love is pain. What? But that was followed by a revelation from Fox's Instagram saying that the two of them drank each other's blood. Which again, I don't even know how to respond to that. Jesus. Alright. 6 months later, in July, a source told Entertainment Tonight, quote, Megan and MGK are pretty much done wedding planning. They are both totally on the same page, which has made things easy for them, but Megan is definitely pulling everything together and has the final say on what goes and what doesn't. They are so excited to spend the rest of their lives together, traveling the world, living in complete bliss and harmony, and potentially expanding their family one day. Nice. Now in September, after the previous month dishing out tons of breakup rumors, a source told Entertainment Tonight, quote, as of now, Megan and MGK are doing really well regardless of the breakup speculation. They both have been super busy work-wise, and personally speaking, having kids of their own, they are naturally swamped on that front as well. All is good between the two of them, and they are still making time for each other and the relationship. Their wedding plans are still on, but being as busy as they are taking everything one day at a time. Now, despite that statement, the very next month, another source told Us Weekly, quote, they've worked on their problems and worked really hard to get to the place where they are today. The source says, quote, it's still a struggle at times and they tend to have a lot of ups and downs. He is making a lot of effort to be more mature. He's not always easy to deal with. He still has his teenage side to him. On top of that, there was a point months ago where she was beyond done with him, said the source. She was fed up with his BS. It got really bad between them. He loves her so much and was the one that pushed to make it work. He wanted it to work and wanted them to be a happy couple. She was having a hard time, but things have turned around. But things seem to be going fine with the couple being business as usual, even attending the 2023 Grammys together. Then, all of a sudden, on February 12th, Megan and MGK seemingly break up around the time of the Super Bowl weekend. Megan posted a picture of herself to Instagram with the caption saying, quote, you can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath. She then followed Eminem, who is basically MGK's #1 rival and nemesis, and then, out of nowhere, she deletes her Instagram altogether. This was followed on February 13th with a source telling People magazine, quote, Megan is very upset. They had a fight over the weekend and Megan won't speak to him. They haven't officially called off the engagement, but Megan took her ring off. They also note that MGK and Megan, quote, have had issues in the past. Things seem pretty serious this time. So, from 2020 to 2023, the twin flames, who seem to burn so bright, have also burned so briefly, I guess, and may just be extinguished. Now, it may be too early to tell that, and we obviously don't wish the couple any problems, but these things happen and the world keeps on spinning. There is a whole lot going on with Megan Fox and MGK right now, and so for anyone who wants to know a bit more about those involved, today we're talking about MGK, a bit of his career, and then we will get to the spicy stuff. I'm Adam Andrews, this is Where Are They Now, and let's jump in. So, Colson Baker was born on April 22nd, 1990 in Houston, Texas, but because of his Christian missionary parents, the family moved all over the world, so growing up he lived in Egypt, Germany, and throughout the United States, eventually ending up in Denver, Colorado with his father after his mom left at the age of 9. As a kid, he was bullied and began listening to rap in the 6th grade. He cites Ludacris, Eminem, and DMX as the first 3 rappers that got him into the genre, with DMX's We Right Here being the big song that got him interested. He recorded music at first in his home studio, aka his quote, rage cage. When he was frighteningly close to being evicted in March of 2009, he went to the Apollo Theater in New York's Harlem and took the stage to a wave of boos. But apparently, once he started his show, the vibe instantly changed and he became the first ever white rapper to win at the Apollo Theater, which he did once more afterwards. But he really started to hit a stride when he freestyled the verses from his song Chip Off the Block at MTV2's Sucker Free Freestyle. As he was rising up in popularity though, he was still struggling like all artists do. He'd work at Chipotle making burritos to afford his rent. He got kicked out of his dad's house after high school, and not too much longer after that, he actually became a dad. Now around Around the same time that all that was happening was when Machine Gun Kelly also released his second mixtape, 100 Words and Running, which started the whole lace-up thing. Now, in May of 2010 is when he put out his Alice in Wonderland single, which released on iTunes, and it came with a music video that won Best Music Video at the 2010 Ohio Hip Hop Awards. The song itself got the artist the Best Midwest Artist Award at the 2010 Underground Music Awards, and he released another mixtape, Lace Up, in November 2010, which saw him get featured in XXL magazine in 2011, and it most likely helped him to appear on Juicy J's Inhale alongside Steve-O, of all people. Steve-O from Jackass, in case you didn't know. Now following that, in March 2011, MGK made his first performance at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, which is where he was offered a recording contract with Bad Boy Records. This is when he put out his first studio album titled Lace Up, which released on October 9th, 2012, and it featured appearances from artists like Bun B, Cassie, DMX, Esther Dean, Lil Jon, Tech Nine, Waka Flocka Flame, Young Jeezy, and Dub-O. The artist debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200s. The lead single of the album, Wild Boy, peaked at 98 on the Billboard Hot 100s and got certified as gold soon after. Another single from MGK, Invincible, which was not on the album, became the official theme song for the 28th annual WrestleMania, and it was used to highlight John Cena's match, with another song highlighting Cena the next year. And Invincible is currently the theme for Thursday Night Football as well, so that's a fun fact for you. In June 2012, he released the mixtape Black Flag, which featured Pusha T, Meek Mill, Wiz Khalifa, French Montana, Kellen Quinn, Dub-O, Sean McGee, and Diddy. And alongside it, he posted a picture of a letter that read, him. This project is dedicated to love because for my entire life it has been taken away from me. Granted, when it was given, I pushed it right back. I couldn't handle it. This was until I experienced the loss of love for what I love doing most, music. That was the one thing worth fighting for, even more so than the love of my father. I found that again, and I plan on never surrendering it. Find out what you love and fight. Black Flag, which is cool. That's just a nice letter. Now, I'm gonna fast forward a few years past the release of his album General Admission in 2015, the release of his single Bad Things with Camila Cabello in 2016, and the acoustic cover of Linkin Park's Numb. We're going all the way to September 3rd when MGK released the song Rap Devil. Now, this song was completely a response to a diss track released by Eminem called Not Alike from his August 2018 album Kamikaze. Rap Devil was named to directly oppose Eminem's track Rap God, and it accuses Eminem of trying to bring down Baker's career after Baker had made a comment about Eminem's daughter Haley, which you just don't do. This caused a bit of a stir in the community. MGK trying to face Eminem is a bold move. I don't think he ever really had a chance, but he tried. On his Twitter, Coulson spoke about his response track, saying that he is, quote, standing up for not just myself, but my generation. Now, he also said that he was doing the same stuff that Eminem did back in the day as well. Eminem responded to the iTunes chart topper with another diss track titled Killshot, and that pretty much brought the whole thing to a pretty definite end. Now, in April 2019, Billboard reported that Baker's next upcoming album would be titled Hotel Diablo. He released 3 singles from the album in May 17th, May 31st, and June 7th of 2019, and his third single, I Think I'm Okay, with Youngblood and Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker, was a pop-punk song, and it drove the rapper into the pop-punk genre in kind of an unexpected way. Hotel Diablo was released on July 5th, 2019, and the album debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200 chart, becoming his 4th top 10 album. On December 18th, 2020, Baker released the single Why Are You Here, which is another pop-punk song. Now, later on in the same month, he began teasing an upcoming project with Travis Barker producing it, which turned out to be a whole album of exclusively pop-punk, following the success of his previous pop-punk singles. The album, which is what the project was, Tickets to My Downfall, released on September 25th, 2020. Tickets to My Downfall's first single, Bloody Valentine, was released on May 1st, 2020, followed by Concert for Aliens on August 5th, and My Ex's Best Friend featuring Black Bear on August 7th. Now, this was during the COVID-19 epidemic, which also saw Kelly releasing daily recordings, covers, and collabs in a series he called the #Lockdown Sessions. Some of the tracks included covers of Misery Business by Paramore with Travis Barker, Champagne Supernova by Oasis with Youngblood, and a remix of My House by Paris. Some of the songs from the sessions were released on the special editions of Tickets to My Downfall, but they were all kinda cool. I kinda dig them. Now, MGK also has a bit of experience as an actor, which is a nice way to segue into the thing most people probably came here for, the relationship between MGK and Megan Fox. Now, we did a whole video on the relationship timeline, which you can check out if you're interested, but here's a bit of a shorter rundown. In March of 2020, right before the year took a turn for the worse, the Jennifer's Body and Dirt actors met on the set of their new thriller, Midnight in the Switchgrass. The two seemed to be really interested in each other, and since Megan was currently split from, but not divorced from, her last husband, Brian Ryan Austin Green, Megan and MGK started hooking up and dating. On the 20th of May is when MGK finally released the music video for his single, Bloody Valentine. And the music video that accompanied it featured Megan herself as his on-screen bae. And it featured his love of her feet as she steps on his face, which was weird. On July 22nd, 2020, Megan and MGK gave their first joint interview talking to Lala Kent and Randall Emmett about filming Midnight in the Switchgrass, which is where we got another look at how weird yet kind of irresistible the couple is. When Megan said, quote, "I knew right away that he was what I call a twin flame. Instead of a soulmate, a twin flame is actually where a soul has ascended into a high enough level that it can be split into two different bodies at the same time. So, we're actually two halves of the same whole, I think." And I said that to him almost immediately because I felt it right away. Yeah, it's kind of weird, and a little over the top for some, but these two become known for their weird poetic comments. One of which comes in November of 2020 when Megan Fox gushed about MGK in a Nylon cover interview where she says, quote, "Loving him is like being in love with a tsunami or a forest fire. The intensity of merging with him is just so overwhelming, and the threat it poses is so powerful but so beautiful that you have no choice to surrender with reverence and with gratitude." Now, if Megan Fox said that about me, my ego would be through the roof, but if it was anyone else, I'd be like, red flag. Red flag? But speaking of red flags, on November 23rd, the two made their first red carpet appearance as a couple at the AMAs, with Megan seeming to have a small tattoo dedicated to MGK on her collarbone, the Spanish word for gunslinger. Kinda cute. A big memorable moment for this couple from the perception of the public came in May of 2021 when the couple showed up to the Billboard Music Awards going to the absolute limit with their tongues all the way out and their hands on their untouchables. On September 12th, 2021, the couple took to the VMAs red carpet with Megan wearing a sheer dress, which is where Megan and Kourtney Kardashian, who was dating and later married MGK's drummer and producer Travis Barker, took to the stage and introduced their partners as their future baby daddies. On October 11th, 2021, the British GQ did a sit-down interview with the couple, and there was just a whole lot from this interview, and we're gonna talk about it. They talk about giving each other tattoos of, quote, "the darkest fairy tale." They say how they first ever met at a party, which gave us the infamous quote of Megan saying, "You smell like weed," and MGK going, "I am weed." Cool. And then they talk about their first kiss, saying that they put their lips in front of each other and just like breathe in and out, which I could see it happening, but saying it out loud is weird. I don't like it. On January 12th of 2022, Megan and MGK officially get engaged under the banyan tree where they apparently first met, which introduced us to a few other weird things about their relationship. For example, the engagement ring, which featured their birthstones, also had the fun little fact that, quote, "the bands are actually thorns, so if Megan tries to take it off, it hurts, because apparently love is pain." That revelation was also followed by one of Fox's Instagram posts saying that the two of them drank each other's blood. Nice! It wasn't until a handful of months later that breakup rumors started to surface, but several sources shot those down. Then again, some sources did the opposite. One source said, quote, "It's still a struggle at times and they tend to have a lot of ups and downs. He's making a lot of effort to be more mature. He's not always easy to deal with. He still has his teenage side to him." On top of that, they said, quote, "There was a point months ago where she was beyond done with him. She was fed up with his BS. It got really bad between them. He loves her so much and was the one that pushed to make it work. He wanted it to work and wanted them to be a happy couple. She was having a hard time, but things have turned around." Yes, things seem to be going fine for a little while, with the couple being business as usual, even attending the 2023 Grammys together. And then, all of a sudden, on February 12th, Megan and MGK seemingly break up around the time of the Super Bowl weekend. Megan posted a picture of herself to Instagram with the caption saying, quote, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath," quoting a Beyonce song. She then followed Eminem, who is basically MGK's #1 rival and nemesis, and then out of nowhere, she deletes her Instagram altogether. This was followed on February 13th with a source telling People magazine Megan is very upset. They had a fight over the weekend and Megan won't speak to him. They haven't officially called off the engagement, but Megan took her ring off. They also note that MGK and Megan, quote, "have had issues in the past. Things seem pretty serious this time." Whatever the reason was, no one really knows, but it did fire up cheating rumors, which prompted the return of Megan to Instagram, where she shared a post stating that there was no cheating involved in the relationship. She said, quote, "There have been no third-party interference in this relationship of any kind. That includes, but is not limited to, actual humans, DMs, AI boys, or succubus demons. You need to let this story die and leave all of these innocent people alone now." Now, a source apparently familiar with the situation said, quote, "She's now posted that there was no cheating, but she initially thought there was, and now is backtracking a bit." They said, quote, "She was definitely hinting at infidelity with her first post. She regrets making it all so public, but was really upset in the moment. So, she's overreacting at something? I don't know. But if you have any more info to add to the story, feel free to leave it in the comments, but for now, that's all the information I'm giving you. Thanks so much for watching this far. This is Where Are They Now. Stay safe and well informed out there, and I'll see you all on the flippy flop.